and welcome back! Finally, I'm getting around to my second video. I still don't have a name for this show, so if you have any suggestions, please leave them below in the comments. So, getting on today's topic, today we're doing my top 10 must-do things at Disneyland. These aren't in any particular order. I'm not saying that you have to do all of these. These are just things I think that really make a trip at Disneyland. Like, let's say it's your very first visit, or for some reason you only have one day. Frankly, I think you need at least 3 days to really take in the full experience of Disneyland. But I understand money is tight. You really only have one day. Maybe these are some things you might want to take a little time out to do. That's all. So these are, and this is my opinion, guys. There's a lot more things that you could do. There's a lot of things that other people say you gotta do and stuff like that. And a couple of things. One, I'm not going to suggest any rides to you. None of these are rides. There are a couple of other attractions. And there's only a couple items on my list where you actually have to spend money to do it. Otherwise, you don't need to spend any extra money, just a park ticket. So, and again, these aren't in any particular, there's not like a number one and the least and the most or anything on this. So, either start or end your trip by going to see the Disneyland Story and Moments with Mr. Lincoln. And the reason why it's Disney history. This is one of the this is the very first audio animatronic, Mr. Lincoln himself. It's originally from the one of the World's Fairs that they did, specifically because of the state where Abraham Lincoln was from, and it was like Walt Disney's favorite president or something to that fact. And the way they have it now, he is the top of the animatronic technology right now. And it's part of Disney history. It's a little bit educational, and it's about as patriotic as I get. Number 2, take your time going down Main Street, either coming into the park or when you leave that day. There are so many little things on Main Street. I think Main Street is like one of those overlooked lands because everyone just wants to go and get straight to the rides. It really is a lot of stuff to do here, guys. There's the Indian in front of what used to be the cigar shop. It's now the music shop. Yeah, they used to sell tobacco in Disneyland. But the Indian is still there. I think everyone has their own nickname for the guy. And you give him a hug, take a picture with him. The Main Street Cinema, you can watch some classic Mickey Mouse cartoons. There's a phone at both the Magic Shop and a Market House where you can sit and listen to like an old Partyland conversation. It's kind of cute. All the stuff on Center Street, there's way too many things to list. All the windows above on the shops, dedicating to all the people who helped make Disneyland. Esmeralda at the front of the Penny Arcade, which actually is no longer an arcade. It's kind of sad that our last trip when we went there and it's all just shops, and it's overtaken by like the sweet shops and stuff now. It used to actually be, no, didn't cost a penny, but there actually used to be an arcade. There used to be a ton of penny smash machines. I collect smashed pennies, and that's where I used to get a lot of them. There used to be, there's still the little Pinocchio marionette game in there too, but there used to be a bunch of all these old arcade things, like the little flip reel videos and stuff. It's gone now. Esmeralda's still there though. Ride a Main Street vehicle. Check out the firehouse in Walt's apartment. Actually, the fire truck, it was Walt's favorite. And you get to watch, on Main Street, you can watch them make the candy. You get to watch them make the caramel apples. There's a couple other places in the park, like Poop Corner, that you can also sit, like, just watch them make the treats. And especially on Christmas time, you get to watch them make the huge candy canes. It's really cool. Number 3, ride the train at least once. If it's not under construction, it's still currently under refurbishment. They're going to open it again soon. And I want to make the point that it's not really a way to get around the park. It really is just an attraction. You ride the train, you want to get on the train at New Orleans Square, not at Main Street. Yeah, because that's the big iconic thing, the Main Street station, but less people, it's less crowded at New Orleans Square, and more people get off, allowing you to actually get on. So get on at New Orleans Square, go all the way around, and then you can get off wherever you want. But it really isn't a way to get around to the park. You could walk to Tomorrowland faster than you could take the train or anywhere else. My brother and I did this thing. He swore that you could get, and so he got on the train. I think I actually waited him for the train to leave the station, and I still walked over to the New Orleans Square station faster than he did on the train. Number 4, this is one of the only one of 2 that you might have to pay something. Get Dole Whip and go sit and do the Tiki Room. This is the only other show attraction, but not a ride. It's, again, one of the only original attractions. I don't think it was original when the park opened. I think it opened a little bit later than that. But it's completely untouched. They've added things to Small World. They've done multiple changes on Pirates of the Caribbean. But the Tiki Room is exactly how it was years ago, and it's the same thing. And my favorite part is sitting in the garden and listening to the tiki gods and the actions that go off. There's one that does rain, there's one that does fire, and the original Maui before Moana came, it was that version of Maui, and he's an actual clock that works. And it's just fun to sit and relax. You used to be able to just sit and relax before the show, eat your Dole Whip, and watch all the little tiki god animatronics go off. Now they've opened both sides, and now there's people standing waiting for Dole Whip, and it's really crowded and the whole thing, and it's not as comfortable. But it's still a good show, and Dole Whip is awesome. I can actually get Dole Whip a little bit closer. If you go to Great America, they also have pineapple soft serve. The next one, number 5. Go on the Mark Twain or sailing ship Columbia. It's a nice change of pace. You get to see the Rivers of America, which they just finished completing. So that should be, again, opening soon. They revamped the whole thing. You got whole new scenes to look at now. On the Columbia, if you go below deck, there's actually kind of like a museum and an audio guided tour. It shows you what life was like on a sailing ship back in the day. It's really fun. Along the same vein, Tom Sawyer Island, they just reopened that. It's a great place if you want to take a break. Just sit and relax, take in the surroundings. Or there's lots of little stuff for you to go and explore with the kids. There's like caves, and there's a tree house, and there's a whole bunch of stuff to climb on and do. It's a little bit changed again since they reopened it. It's not how it was. There used to be a churchyard. There used to be like gravestones and stuff, and that's gone now. But it's just a nice break in the middle of the day. Get away from the crowds. Go and sit and take a look around. Number 7, take a picture in front of the door for Club 33. You can't get into Club 33, not unless you got the big bucks. And there's also a waiting list to get in anyway. I actually have a friend who knows a friend, and so my friend got to go into Club 33 both before and after the revamp. They've actually completely done the inside. So what you want to look for, we're going to put a picture here. This is the old entrance to Club 33. That's the old entrance. This is the new entrance, the new door to Club 33. That's the door you want to look for. And definitely don't look for Hodor. You're not going to find Hodor in the parks. Had to make that joke. 8, you can watch the Splash Mountain log riders. You can watch the riders from, it's called The Secret Path. Fresh Baked did a video on this. I'm going to link the video down in the description. It's, there's a restaurant called the Harbor Galley. It's right in between New Orleans Square, right before it becomes Critter Country. And if you go, after you get your food, there's a seating area, but then you can walk up this path, and it's almost virtually unknown. They call it a secret path, but it's not like it's off limits to guests or anything. It's just a nice little area, and you can watch them just after they come, splash down the waterfall, and then they come around, and so you can watch the boats go. That's usually where the Columbia is docked when it's down for service, or when Mark Twain is going around instead. So you can sit there, have your lunch there, watch the ships, watch the little boats go by, watch the Rivers of America go by. It's, again, just a really nice place to hang out. Number 9, feed and watch the ducks in the Big Thunder Mountain Trail area. This is the path connecting Frontierland to Fantasyland. It's where the Thunderland Ranch used to be and the petting zoo used to be. that area. There's a little area where you can see there's a part of the old ride, mine train through the wilderness used to be, and you can see where the track for that was. There's still the automatronic jumping fish in the pond. Again, this is another take a break from running around. Kick your feet up and watch the ducks. There are Disney ducks everywhere around, and they're just like, they're chill. They're like, we know it's crowded, we know there's people everywhere, but we live here. And it's really fun. And then number 10, this is the only one where you're gonna spend any money. Eat at Riverside at the Blue Bayou restaurant. Let me tell you, it is worth it. My husband and I did this for our 5-year wedding anniversary. Ask for a Riverside seat or a ride side seat or whatever. Basically, the Blue Bayou restaurant is the restaurant that you see as you go through Pirates of the Caribbean. So if you go in, make a reservation, and ask to be seated by the river so you can watch the boats go by. It's really cool, totally geeky thing. I'm like the biggest geek you've ever seen. And I really think it's worth it. And that actually makes the price of the food worth it. Sitting anywhere else in that restaurant, it's not worth the price. You're paying like $100+ for this per plate. My husband just told me per plate. You want to go on a birthday or an anniversary or something special too, because when we went there and we told them it was our 5-year wedding anniversary, we got a special little dessert with Mickey Mouse shaped sprinkles. I asked if I could purchase some. They said they don't sell it, but he brought me a little takeout container of them, and I was like, that's awesome. And I got some to take home, and I actually made some cupcakes with it and took it to a friend's wedding shower, and I had some extra, and another friend was having a baby shower, so I actually got double potluck out of these cupcakes. They were really awesome. Everyone was like, wow, where'd you get these Mickey Mouse sprinkles? And I was like, the Blue Bayou. So yeah, that's my list for today. There's a couple other links I want to share with you down below. Go check out Fresh Baked. I don't want to completely take you away from them. I want you to watch my channel, but they're awesome, and so I've gotten some of this information. I wish I could go there as often as they get to go. It's crazy. And again, if you want to see this video early, support me on Patreon. Otherwise, you'll have to wait 4 whole days before I make this video public. So if you donate and support me on Patreon, you get to see them right away as soon as they upload. If you're everyone else, you have to wait 4 days. So check out the links below. My Patreon is in the description for the channel. My husband's channel link is in the description. It's all in the description for this channel. That's our show today. Coming up, my next video, I'm going to be looking at the Disney XD show Gravity Falls. If you've seen the show, you know what I'm talking about. It's a crazy show. I think it really pushes what Disney animation is. So come and check in next time. Thank you guys. See you next time.